Retro Wrestling Review.
Konnichiwa! Welcome to Retro Wrestling Review. I am your host, Troy, and today you are going to hop on my time-traveling wrestling ring with me and go all the way back to the year 1994 in Japan, because today we are going to be covering Steve Dr. Death Williams defending the AJPW, All Japan Pro Wrestling, Triple Crown Championship against Toshiaki Kawada. If you haven't already, definitely go follow us on social media. We are on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, all at Retro Wrestling Pod. So I hope you go check us out, and we are going to have a lot of fun today because we are diving into another country. So far, in our first two episodes, we went to the WWF in New York with Superstar Billy Graham in episode 1. Episode 2, we were in Chicago for some NWA matches with Nature Boy, Buddy Rogers, the original Nature Boy, as he took on Lou Thez and Pat O'Connor. And today, we are going all the way to the Orient for All Japan Pro Wrestling. Like I said, this took place October 22nd, 1994. If you want to watch along, because if you haven't listened to us yet, this is a watch-along format. If you want to watch along, we are going to be starting at the very beginning of the video, all zeros, and you can follow along on the link down in the description of the podcast. Click on that. We are only going to be watching one match today because it is 51 minutes 44 seconds long. Unfortunately, I am going to have to take a break in the middle of the video, so what I am going to do is when we are getting close to the 30-minute mark, I'm going to give you a countdown like I do to start the video, and when I say pause, everybody just plan on pausing at 30 minutes exactly, and then I'm going to take a quick center of the video break for our ads and whatnot, and then we are going to start back up, and I will give you the countdown to play from 30 minutes exactly again. Don't worry, I'll remind you about all of this halfway through the video. But before we dive into the video itself, I want to give a little background on the people we are going to be covering today. Toshiaki Kawada and Dr. Death Steve Williams. Dr. Death, a lot of people here in America, if you know classic wrestling, will know him from stuff he did here in America, but he was a huge deal over in Japan. Made a lot of money over there, spent a lot of time over there. Dr. Death Steve Williams was actually born on May 14th, 1960. Unfortunately, he passed away on December 29th, 2009. Can't believe it's been so long, but he had throat cancer and he passed away in New Jersey. So yeah, that's a very, very sad end to his life. According to Jim Ross, who was good friends with him until the day he died, I guess he was in high spirits. Even though he was passing away, he knew he was going to die. So that's good that he was able to remain in good spirits in the hospital, even though he was physically suffering. But he did play college football, and he was an amateur wrestler at the same time, both for the University of Oklahoma. He was a Sooner. He was a big deal in Oklahoma, not just, shoot sports, but also professional wrestling as well, as their hero. He was actually born in Lakewood, Colorado, though. He was only 6'1". I say only because, some people say, well, if you're not above 6'1", you can forget it about making it in wrestling. WWF was really the ones who really did that. You have to be over 6'1" to really make a difference. Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart were two people that kind of smashed through all of that. So that wasn't a big thing outside of the WWF. But besides just being 6'1", he was 285 pounds. That's absolutely nuts. He was trained by Bill Watts and Buddy Landel, another Nature Boy, Buddy Landel, and he debuted in 1982. He was a 3-time Pro Wrestling World Heavyweight Champion. He won the UWF World Heavyweight Championship twice. That's the Bill Watts territory. It went from Mid-South Wrestling to the UWF. Not the UWF that was ran by, I'm trying to think, Herb Abrams. Not that one. That was a different one. This was the original UWF, ran by Bill Watts. And he was also a one-time Triple Crown heavyweight champion in All Japan Pro Wrestling. He also achieved notoriety in Japan in tag team competition, winning the World Tag Team Championships 8 times with partners such as Terry Bam Bam Gordy and Big Van Vader. He also, in North America, won tag team titles in Mid-South / UWF, World Championship Wrestling, and the NWA United States Tag Team Championships, as well as winning the World's Strongest Tag Determination League twice. Yeah, that's over in Japan. That he won it once with Terry Gordy and won it once with Mike Rotunda. World's Strongest Tag Determination League, also known as the Real World Tag League. That was a thing over there. That was an All Japan thing. I know they have something. They have similar stuff in New Japan, but he never really wrestled in New Japan. It was always All Japan. So, but that's a little bit on Dr. Death. And as far as Toshiaki Kawada here, he was born on December 8th, 1963, so he was just 3 years younger than Dr. Death Steve Williams. And he's semi-retired. He still wrestles here and there. He did a lot of work for All Japan Pro Wrestling, debuting in 1982 and retired in 2008. He's a 5-time Triple Crown heavyweight champion, a 9-time World Tag Team champion, and a 3-time winner of the Real World Tag League, and a 2-time winner of the Champion Carnival. That's sort of like their, if you want to compare it to anything else, if anybody knows what the G1 is in New Japan, and I'm going to make New Japan references because, I mean, in 2021, that's really what we know from Japanese wrestling the most is New Japan. So that's what I'm going with here. But he's also recognized as the ace of the All Japan promotion from 2000 to 2005. The ace is kind of, even if he's not the world champion, he's the top guy kind of thing. How they determined that Tanahashi is the ace of New Japan. So, but he is widely considered one of the greatest wrestlers of his generation. His matches against Mitsuharu Misawa, Jun Akiyama, and Kenta Kobashi in the 1990s are argued by many fans and experts in the industry as some of the greatest professional wrestling matches of all time. So he's very stiff. He worked in MMA style, and his nickname was Dangerous K. He also has the distinction of having competed in 17 matches that were given a 5-star rating, and one match that had actually received a 6-star rating by Dave Meltzer in the Wrestling Observer newsletter. So I'm not going to get into all of those matches. He was born in Ohira. I'm going to butcher this. I'm very sorry. Ohira Shimatsuga District, Tochigi. Tochigi City in Japan. I'm very sorry. I'm not very good with these Japanese city names and district names. So he was 6 foot tall, so he was not a very tall man, and he was 231 pounds, but he looked very thick. He was he was like a tree trunk. So, but we're going to get into this match here real quick now that I read you some of the stuff. And I'm going to spout out some facts about the event, the venue, all that good stuff here right after we take this quick break. When we come back, we're going to get into the match itself.
Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
Main Event Marks is a retro pro wrestling podcast hosted by 2 lifelong wrestling marks and walking wrestling encyclopedias, Troy and Greg. Every Wednesday, we do a breakdown and review from a fan's perspective on some of wrestling's biggest and most forgotten shows ever, along with the industry news from that time period, taking you back in history to when that event took place. Main Event Marks is available on all podcast platforms and on YouTube. Follow us on social media at @mainevent_marks.
Now, back to our program.
Alright, we're going to get into the actual match at hand now. This episode is going to go about as long as last week's episode, I'm sure. It was about an hour 15, so this one, I'm going to try to keep it under an hour 15, but we'll see what we can do. We still got to work one more break in there, like I said, so just as a reminder, once we get close to the 30-minute mark, we're going to be taking a pause, and I will count everybody down just so you're aware, and then we'll start the match back up. But we're going to get into the match at hand now. It is Steve Williams versus Toshiaki Kawada, and in parentheses it says AJPW 10/22/94. So here we go. We are going to do a countdown from, if you've been listening, I always say I'm going to do the countdown, but I have my virtual assistant do the countdown for me. I don't know what we should call her. Let's just let's name her after one of my cats. We'll call her Grace. How about that? So we're gonna count down, or Grace is gonna count down. She's gonna say 3, 2, 1, play, and when she says play, we're all gonna hit the play button at the same time. So here we go.
3, 2, 1, play.
And we start off with Steve Williams getting ready in the back, the Triple Crown Championship. It was a little weird how they did their world title in All Japan because, you know, like you can hear from the Triple Crown, it was not one title belt. It was multiple title belts. As you can see, the overhead shot there, there's some pretty good camera work there. The shot of they are in Nippon Budokan, I believe is how you pronounce the name of the venue. And it's often shorted to just simply Budokan. And it is an indoor arena in Chiyoda, Tokyo, Japan. So, but I guess it was originally built for judo competitions in the 1964 Summer Olympics, hence its name, which translates in English as Martial Arts Hall. And there you see Toshiaki Kawada walking down to the ring, got the big K on his back. I always thought he had the goofiest, nerdiest haircut. Oh my gosh, looked like some fan just bopped him right on top of the head. Wow. And looked like they were reaching out trying to pinch him on his way to the ring. The young boys are trying to protect him. The young lions, if you will. I don't know if that's what they called them in All Japan. I think he's got his tag partner as well there with him, Jun Akiyama. And there you see the man, Dr. Death. He was over as F in Japan. I will say that. Toshiaki Kawada, by the way, with Jun Akiyama, they were known as the Holy Demon Army, which seems like an oxymoron, but, you know, whatever. I've heard they've done some good stuff. I definitely have not watched a lot of Akiyama, so I can't really comment. But I've just, from everything I've read and I've heard, he's great. And see, the fans love Williams. You would think they would like the local guy and hate Williams, but no, he's the babyface. It's the Triple Crown, but he's got 2 titles. I don't know if he's got the third one around his waist or if it's just that's how it is. Yeah, he's got the third one around his waist. There we go. Now he looks like a wrestler there. He's got the singlet on. Wow. Is that belt tie? Like, what's going on? He's having a hard time. He was having a hard time getting that damn title off his waist. That's a hell of a rib, though, isn't it? You gotta carry around 3 title belts. That is not Jun Akiyama with Kawada, by the way. It's just 2 guys. I don't know who they are. But would you like to just haul around that much freaking hardware, man? I mean, that's gotta be a rib. I mean, in Japan, I think it was a lot of car rides, so they didn't have to go through TSA and all that stuff. But it's like, did he keep it somewhere in Japan? When he came back to America, Did he hand the titles over to somebody for safekeeping? Because I would not like to bring those back and forth. Holy crap. Somebody, like, they're making the announcement, and you know how they throw the ribbons? Oh my gosh. All they did was announce Kawada so far, and that ring is just filthy with ribbons. Now there's more for Williams. I always like the ribbons. I mean, it's messy, it's impractical, but I don't know, I like it. In Mexico, if you have a great match, at the end of the match, they will throw pesos at you. That is an actual fact. That is real stuff. We'll talk about luchador Mexican wrestling here in a few weeks. I'll actually run down the schedule here very soon. But my gosh, like I said, this is impractical with the with the ribbons. It's very messy, but I always thought it was cool. But before they even officially announced Kawada, like, he's in the middle of announcing Kawada, the ring announcer, and one guy just shorthands a ribbon right over the announcer's shoulder and only gets him. Williams has a look on his face like, he's gonna beat the snot out of me, and I'm gonna beat the snot out of him. Kawada's just cool, calm, and collected right now. There's Williams getting psyched up. Alright. We're about to tie up here any moment now. They're circling. And they're circling. I know it's gonna heat up once we, get into it here, and single leg by Kawada attempted. No, he flipped around almost in Enziguri style, but he got out of it. Williams is back on his feet, and so is Kawada. Dangerous. This event, in, Nippon Budokan is the, October Giant Series 1994, Night 17, Tag 17, whatever you want to call it, depends on where you look, is what it is called. And, it took place on October 22nd, 1994. The attendance was 16,300 for this event. So, huge crowd. And I was looking up the actual total capacity. They must have added seats, because I'm seeing the total capacity for this place is 14,471. So, either they added seats or somebody counted wrong. That's all I'm going to say. Running down a little bit about this show. I'm not going to go over the whole card because I don't know half of these people. I'm just going to be honest with you. Chris Candido participated on this show. Kentaro Shiga and Satoru Asako defeated Chris Candido and The Falcon in a tag match. So, that was the thing. The Falcon was Steve Armstrong of the famous Armstrong family. Steve was one half of the Southern Boys with Tracy Smothers in the NWA, if you remember. Scott was the referee. Steve was one half of the Southern Boys. Brian is Road Dogg. And Brad had a million gimmicks. He wrestled as himself. He was Fantasia. He was Bad Street. He was Buzzkill. I mean, he had 1,001 gimmicks. And, by the way, if, getting back to this match here, Kawada was just, side-kicking, Williams right in the side of the knee, the left knee. It damn near buckled his knee there. It just kept kicking him. It looked like it was for real, and it very well might have been. And then Williams just took him and shoved him down on his ass. Now, looking at this card, they did have a few, 6-man tags as well, lots of tag matches. One team consisted of, Dan Spivey, Doug Furness, and Johnny Ace. Yeah, they were big names over in New Japan, believe it or not. The Americans there. They defeated the team of Jun Akiyama, Takeo Omori and Toman Honda. And Kawada taking Williams down with a side headlock and locking the arm in his legs. Williams trying to push his head to get out of it here, or roll him or something. Oh, he's pulling on the hair and the eyes. The AJPW World Junior Heavyweight title was defended here tonight by Don Crawford. He defeats Tsuyoshi Kikuchi, I believe is how you pronounce it, just under 15 minutes. And then we got Dory Funk Jr., Giant Baba, and Jumbo Tsuruta defeating the team of Johnny Smith, The Eagle, and Tom Zank. Yes, Tom Zank. He was in All Japan Pro Wrestling. They've got a full guard here. Oh, and Williams taking him down with a head scissors there, getting out of it. I looked up the Eagle. It's some guy named George Hines, so I don't know who that is. So that doesn't really help. The match right before this was the main event of the night. The actual bell-to-bell time was 37 minutes, 58 seconds. So this video, I'm going to assume, has, we saw it had about like 5 minutes of entrances and build-up and whatever before we started the actual match. But on top of that, I would assume it's got some celebration and stuff in there as well at the end, maybe some interviews, so I'll cut those off if it goes too long. Here we got Kawada. Williams has Kawada in like a body scissors. Kawada's on top of him, shoving his palms and forearms into his face. They broke it. They are up. And he drop kicks Williams right in the side of his left leg. He's really working that left leg of Williams, who drops out of the ring to sell it. He's grabbing it. That might not be selling as much as that really effing hurt. But I don't know. But this match, the match right before this one, by the way, it was a tag match between Mitsuharu Misawa and Stan Hansen on one side. They took on Akira Tao and Kenta Kobashi. It went just under 28 and a half minutes, and the Wrestling Observer Dave Meltzer gave it 4 1/4 stars. So 4 1/4 stars for that tag match. If anybody wants to go look that one up, it sounds like it would be interesting. 28 and a half minutes. I like 3 of those guys, Misawa, Hansen, and Kobashi. I haven't seen much of Akira Tao. I've heard his name mentioned a lot. I heard he's great, but I can't say I like him because I've never seen much of his stuff. CageMatch.net, by the way, the actual voters on CageMatch.net gave it an 8.5 out of 10. So that's a pretty high bar. And there we go. That's why he was working the left leg. Toshiaki Kawada now has a half crab. He had to fight to lock it in, but he's fully got it turned now. He's got the half crab locked in. Oh, and he's cranking it on Dr. Death, Steve Williams. He's sitting down with it. He's got it high and tight, sitting down on the back, and he's slumping down lower and lower. Williams locking his leg, trying to, and he lost his balance. He falls back, but he's still got the leg of Williams. He's not letting it go. Williams kicks him off. He's on his back doing high kicks now. He's in the corner, and Kawada instantly goes back to that left leg, kicking the leg, and knee dropping the leg, right on the knee to knee. And again, knee to knee. In previous weeks, you probably heard, there were a couple times I stopped talking for gaps at a time, so I worked in audio from the video we were watching, just to kind of, add some noise, because I don't like a lot of dead air on a podcast. I know personally when I'm listening to a podcast, if I'm hearing a lot of dead air, it throws me off, kind of takes me out of it. So I apologize for that. I'm not going to be doing that this week. And Kawada doing the old stomp in the back of the knee. He picks the leg up, puts his foot in the back of the knee, and stomps it down. He's working hard on that left leg of Dr. Death. But I'm not going to be working in video audio for this one, only because I tried to get enough notes. I was kind of winging it the first 2 weeks, I'll be honest with you. I tried to get as much as possible to help you out and to inform you about what we were seeing, what was going on. Man, Williams dropped back out of the ring again. By the way, he's selling that knee. They're zooming in on the knee. I don't see anything wrong with it, visually. He pulled the knee pad down and he was massaging it there for a minute. If it doesn't legit hurt, he's making it seem like it is. He's walking it off. The rings were a lot shorter, and I think they were in New Japan as well. But to me, I mean, especially knowing that Williams is 6'1", Kawada's 6 foot even, those rings only come up to about their thighs, like from the floor to the ring itself. So those rings were quite a bit shorter over in Japan. Because over here in America, a 6 foot tall person, the ring would come up to at least their belly. Like the ring mat would be about where their waist and stomach is. And there's Kawada taking him down with a drop toe hold, and he's got the sort of an STF lockdown. I'm not. And he abandoned the STF, he abandoned the leg, now he's just got a kind of a crossface in there. Doesn't have the arm hooked, but he's kind of laying across his back and cranking back with a side headlock. Now Williams is fighting to his feet, he's on the one knee. He's got the waist hooked, he's got him up, no. And he shoots him off into the ropes, comes back, shoulder block, no, nobody goes down. They're staring at each other. Kawada hits the other ropes, and drop toe hold from Williams now. See, the one thing about Japanese wrestling is they made it seem like a legit struggle, like it wasn't so cooperative. Like right there, Williams did a drop toe hold, and Kawada looked like he saw it coming, and he tried to stop it, but he face planted anyway. It didn't look like, oh, they messed it up, they botched it. Like, it looks like he's trying to get out of it. He saw it coming. On one hand, I will say, because I was talking about the Wrestling Observer star ratings earlier, this match, I hate seeing Dave's opinion and his star rating before I watch a legit match, or before I watch the match myself. Only because I don't let him necessarily dictate to me how I should feel about a match, because there were a few he loved that I was just like, wow, that wasn't all that good. Or a few he hated that I was like, wow, that was actually, like, really damn good. But I don't even want a possibility of being influenced. But he did give this match 4 stars in the Observer. So this one, Kawada and Williams, just shy of 38 minutes. It was about 38 minutes. He gave it 4 stars in the Wrestling Observer. There's a surfboard stretch applied by Dr. Death Steve Williams. Kawada's struggling to get out of it here. Everything was a struggle. These guys are really sweating their asses off. I'll say that. And Kawada's really, he's up to his feet. Got the standing stretch. Williams still has the arms cranked back. Kawada's really trying to power out of it here. The way these guys are sweating, I'm about to go do that after this, I record this episode, because I'm gonna hit the gym after this. But Kawada reversed it. Now he's got the stretch on Williams. I was talking about how Kawada, he's trying to fling his head back, trying to headbutt his way out of it, but he's too far away. It's not gonna work. Kawada's not allowing it. But I talked about how Kawada is kind of built like a spark plug, where he's only 6 foot tall, but he's thick. He wears that 230 pounds well, where he's just a thick, kind of girthy kind of dude. But Steve Williams is just, like, he's large, man. He's a big man. I mean, there's a lot of great stories about how he was a nice guy, but if anybody messed with him, he would murder them. I mean, not literally, but... And there is a tiger suplex from Dr. Death on Toshiaki Kawada. That's the first suplex of the match. And Kawada tries to stand back up and he flops right out of the ring. He's like, I shouldn't have done that one. He didn't have his equilibrium about him after that suplex. That is how you sell a suplex, man, after some struggling. And he's kind of laid out on the ring mat outside of the ring, trying to get his wits about him. Apparently he hurt his left knee as well. I don't know when that happened. I mean, Williams had him in kind of a stretch earlier where he had the legs locked, but it didn't seem like it was that serious, but he's selling the knee pretty well. These guys, I mean, you can say what you want about not a whole lot of selling needed because they legit beat the tar out of each other. But, I mean, you know, and that's true. Williams is beating on him here. Wow. It's kind of the bottom of his fist. He's not punching him per se. He kind of is, but he's like hammer fisting him. Like right in the side of the head, in the back of the head. Oh, tried to run into him in the ropes, and he missed. He hit the ropes, but now he's just stomping on him. Kawada looks like he just doesn't have his wits about him, and he drops down. Williams is taking full advantage, cranking the neck. He's got the arm hooked in the back of his knee. He's cranking his head, almost smashing his face. I've wanted to watch more Kawada matches, because I've heard so much. He's one of Uncle Dave's favorites. So, when I say Uncle Dave, I mean Meltzer, for those that don't know. Also, speaking of calling him Uncle Dave, if you listen to my other podcast, Main Event Marks, we drop every single Wednesday on podcast feeds. Basically every podcast feed you could think of, we drop on there. YouTube, we are on YouTube. And Kawada stands right up, kicks Williams right in the back of his left knee again. That slows him down. And then from the ground, he kind of almost does he's on his back and does like a stump drop kick to the back of the knee. But Williams is back, kicking Kawada right in the back with the butt of his foot. Good grief. But yeah, just search for Main Event Marks on YouTube. If you're watching us on YouTube, by the way, thank you. Please subscribe and tick the little bell for the notification. I apologize last week. I was so behind on everything. I didn't post on social media until Tuesday, I think, maybe Wednesday. I uploaded the YouTube video wrong the first time, so it didn't get uploaded until Wednesday. So if you are a YouTube watcher, oh my gosh. I'm sorry, I'm going to have to take a pause from that for a second. Williams lifted, he shot Kawada off into the ropes, lifted him up with a press slam, and he lawn darted him into the top rope. So he like snake eyes him out of a press, like a gorilla press, onto the top ring rope. That was nuts. Like he was trying to kill him for real. They don't call him Dr. Death for nothing. And here he's just like chopping him, like overhand chopping him. Throwing him into the corners, right behind him with clotheslines, and Kawada just collapses. My word. Hard hitting, fast paced. Good stuff. But getting back to the, I apologize. The last week I uploaded the YouTube video wrong, so I had to delete it and re-upload it. It was a whole thing. It didn't get uploaded until Wednesday. I was very lazy and behind on everything. I'm going to try to be better about it this week, so hopefully you are seeing all of this on Monday when the show drops. Monday. That is when it all happens. So, just the best way to follow us is to subscribe. I'm still working on getting us on iHeart and iTunes and all that stuff. And instead of following him with a clothesline, Williams followed him in with a big splash, and there's I almost dropped him there. Had to use a lot of power to lift up Kawada for a brain buster, and now he's selling the knee. That hurt to get him up. Logical pro wrestling. And now Williams hooking the leg. The referee 1, 2, and Kawada kicks out. And Williams is pissed. He couldn't get the cover right away because he was holding his hurt knee after that brainbuster. And now he's got the head scissors applied on the mat. He's squeezing those massive legs, not on the throat, but on the head. He's like crushing Kawada's head. Got his head kind of cranked to the side. And Kawada's kicking and kicking to get out of it. And finally, Williams relinquishes the hold. And throwing him into the corner again. But met with a knee to the gut by Kawada. Williams pulling him back in. He's going for the Saito suplex. No. And pounding away on Kawada's back. Kawada, he stopped in mid-Irish whip, spun around, back kick right to the side of Williams' head and dropped him. Williams looks like, what the hell just happened? And Kawada with a kick to the chest. My gosh. And just chapping him. And, Williams is trying to no-sell here, trying to be the champion. The tough champion. Kind of going back a little bit. There's a hard right hand is dropping Toshiaki Kawada. Kind of going back in the lineage here a little bit for this Triple Crown title. Steve Williams actually defeated Mitsuharu Misawa on July 28th of this year, 1994. These two were having a slap fight in the middle of the ring. Kawada kicked him right back into the corner, and then he ran in with a boot to the face. You want to talk about a haluva kick? That was a hell of a kick right there. And he tried to climb up and kick him in the head, but he was shoved down. There's another straight boot to the face, knocking him back. Man, these two were exhausted. And here's Kawada, attempted Irish whip, but Williams is holding on and said no, kicked him right in the face, comes in with a charging shoulder block, took out Kawada, and there's a drop kick from Dr. Death. Kawada's in the corner, he rushes in, another running drop kick. Daniel Bryan, eat your heart out. Right into the corner. My. But yes, Dr. Death, like I said, beat Mitsuharu Misawa, who held that title for 705 days before Williams. That was Misawa's first reign as the Triple Crown champion. Oklahoma Stampede, one corner, another corner, and he dropped him. He couldn't complete it. His knee gave out. He picked him up. He rammed him into one corner. He ran across the ring, Williams that is, and rammed Kawada into the other corner. And then he tried to finish it off with a power slam for the Oklahoma Stampede, and he dropped him, grabbed his knee. He couldn't complete the finishing move. That could have been it. That should have been it. But it wasn't. And Kawada's up now, straight right, drop kick, and Williams flops to the outside of the ring. Good grief. Getting back to to this here, it looks like they changed his title twice in a row because Williams won it in the 1994 Summer Action Series Tour, whereas Misawa won it in the 1992 Summer Action Series 2 Tour. So I guess they have the Summer Action Series and Summer Action Series 2. I don't know. But, Misawa held it from August 22nd, 1992 until July 28th, 1994. That's a hell of a title reign, I'll tell you what. And Misawa had actually beat Stan Hansen. So, he beat Stan Hansen for it, who is in his third title reign, Stan Hansen won it in January 28th, 1992. Holy moly! Steve Williams tried with a top rope shoulder block, but in mid-air, Kawada kicked him in the knee. Holy hell on wheels, man. That was a hell of a move there. Kawada is like, good grief, he is just dripping sweat. We are coming up, by the way, on the 30-minute mark where we are going to take a quick break. And there's a kick to the face. 1, 2, kick out by Williams. Kawada couldn't pull it off before the 30-minute mark. And, Williams is busted open below his left eye. His left side is not doing very, very well. I and Not Grace are going to be doing the countdown, by the way, for the pause, as Kawada is struggling to get Williams in. Oh, he's kicking him in the face, trying for the powerbomb, but Williams is dropping down to his knees. No. 3, 2, 1, pause. Alright. We are paused, and we are going to take a quick break. When we come back on the other side of this, we will do the countdown again. I'm sorry we had to do this break to pay some bills and get some sponsors in there. But after this, we are going to be right back with some more Dr. Death, Steve Williams versus Toshiaki Kawada.
Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
Main Event Marks is a retro pro wrestling podcast hosted by two lifelong wrestling marks and walking wrestling encyclopedias, Troy and Greg. Every Wednesday, we do a breakdown and review from a fan's perspective on some of wrestling's biggest and most forgotten shows ever, along with the industry news from that time period, taking you back in history to when that event took place. Main Event Marks is available on all podcast platforms and on YouTube. Follow us on social media at @mainevent_marks.
Now, back to our program.
Hi everybody, we are back, konnichiwa, and we are going to get into the remainder of this here match between Steve Dr. Death Williams versus Toshiaki Kawada for the All Japan Pro Wrestling Triple Crown title. And I hope I've been keeping you entertained, spouting off some facts, kind of running down what's happening in this match here. For everybody, we are at the 30-minute mark exactly. So I'm going to have my personal assistant, Grace, my virtual personal assistant, Grace, count down from 3 to 2 to 1, and when she says play, we will all hit that play button and continue on with the video.
3, 2, 1, play.
And he just booted him right in the face again. Kawada, that is. Williams is back up. He's like, no way, man. Slap from Kawada. Another slap from Kawada. Right side, and there's a straight jab from Williams. Kawada's teetering, Williams is teetering. There's another punch. Some hard right hands from the Oklahoman, I don't know. The Boomer Sooner. He takes Kawada down. Kawada's down on, he is horizontal at this point. And there's a big ass slap from Williams, picking him up by the hair, and there's a punch. And there's a sliding kick right to the back of the left knee rather, by Kawada. Took Williams down to his back. Kawada is really working that left knee. He has been all match, and he will continue on for the rest of this. I guarantee you. And, he's going for a side suplex here, and he hits it. High and tight, belly to back suplex. Rolling into a pin. The referee, what the hell? 2 and no. What the hell did that referee just do? He, bounced off the ropes to make the count. Only a 2 count, though, by Kawada. And now he's going with a sort of a strange octopus stretch, kinda. Williams is down to his rear end. Goodness gracious. Getting back, while they're in the submission hold here, getting back a little bit to this, title lineage. Cover 2, and Williams kicks out. Stan Hansen, before Mitsuharu Misawa had the title, Stan Hansen held it for 207 days. Not bad. He won it in Chiba, Japan, on New York Giant Series Tour. So, and he held it after beating Jumbo Tsuruta for it the previous January in 1991. And that was Tsuruta's 3rd reign. He held it for 374 days. I'm sorry, Tsuruta had won it, that previous January, and then lost it the next January to Hansen. So both of the New York Giant Series Tour. Hansen was the champion right before Tsuruta. It was, wow. And he had beaten Misawa to win the title. It was a vacant title at the time. Apparently the title was vacated after then-champion Terry Gordy was hospitalized during a scheduled title defense later that night. Yikes. That's, not good. Gordy held the title. That was his 2nd title reign, by the way, before being stripped of it. Hansen held it before him, Gordy before him, Tsuruta before him, and, Genichiro Tenryu before him. So, lots of familiar names. It's like the same people held it in the early and mid-90s over and over and over. It seemed like Misawa finally won it. Like I said, he finally won it in 95 for the first time. Or, I'm sorry, that was his 2nd time. He won it in 92 for the first time, and then he didn't win the title again until 95. So he had a little bit of a drought there. But he held it one more time after back in 1997 as well, and then again in 98, 99. He was one of the top guys for a while. I don't know exactly when he went off to form Pro Wrestling Noah. That's where my timeline is getting a little mixed up here. Because I know he left All Japan at one point after being their top guy for so long, one of their top guys for so long. He went off to form Pro Wrestling Noah. And, oh man, Kawada's just been beating on Williams here for the last couple of minutes while I've been talking about the Triple Crown title and its lineage here. And he's grabbing a handful of mullet of Steve Williams, and he's going for that power bomb. That was his finishing move, was a power bomb. And he can't get it again, so he straight kicks Williams in the face. He's trying again. He can't get it. And Williams picks him up here and slam, almost like a Alabama slam. He's like, what am I going to have to do to be able to powerbomb this guy? This big ass Sooner that comes over here takes our title. And he's just so strong and so tough. These guys just love beating the crap out of each other. He tried going for a tiger suplex again, and the look on Kawada's face, he was like, no! And he grabbed the rope. Oh no, now he's going for the Saito, and now he grabbed the rope again. You're not going to suplex me. Tiger suplex! There we go. Williams with a high and tight tiger suplex. And Kawada's just like in a heap. My word. And now he's going to go for the gut wrench. Sit down. Powerbomb. 2, 3. No! Ah, he got it. No, he didn't get it. Do my Vince McMahon impression. 1, 2, 3. He got it. Oh, he didn't get it. Yikes. This is, I mean, I can't say enough how these guys are just, it's not even just a lot of wrestling moves. He tried for the Saito again, he fought him, and then he finally hit it. Drops him on the back of his neck. Kawada had to look at his face. He's like, no! But he couldn't reach the ropes that time. He's trying to stand up. He's like, kind of out of it. Oh, Williams is headbutting him in the back of the neck repeatedly. And there he goes, flopping outside the ring. Is Kawada. Man, the majority of this match was punching, kicking, and some rough looking submission holds, but now they're getting into the big moves here. I'll be honest, this is one of the first times I've ever seen Steve Williams in Japan. Most of the stuff I've seen has been his stuff from the NWA in the 80s and 90s. Well, they're not 90s. WCW in the 90s and NWA in the 80s. So this is different for me. He rolls Kawada in the ring, hook of the leg. 1, 2, no! Kawada kicks out. Williams can't believe it. He's been trying for that Saito suplex. High and tight on the back of the neck suplex throughout the whole match. He finally hit it, and Kawada had the presence of mind to roll out of the ring, and here again, he must have known he couldn't kick out for a second time, so he just rolls right out of the ring. Obviously in America there are a few wrestlers that kind of wear something very similar. Oh, what the hell? Looked like Williams was gonna slam Kawada. He picks him up like a back suplex almost, and it looked like he was gonna slam him into the ring post, but Kawada kicked back, and both of them just collapsed against the guardrail. It looked like it hurt both of them. I don't know what the hell they were trying for there, but it looked like it hurt. But anyway, I know we have people here in America that have similar outfits throughout most of their career. I mean, Stone Cold comes to mind, and everybody kind of has their signature look of what they wear, but usually they change it up here and there, whatever. In Japan, Mitsuharu Misawa and Toshiaki Kawada come to mind as guys that really hardly ever change it up. There's a power slam from Williams to kick out by Kawada. Can't believe it. He's got to be thinking, what the hell do I got to do to this guy? Oh, and Kawada kicking him from the ground. Just up kicking him right in the side of the head. He's back to his feet. And just, wow, back kick. And there's a rolling wheel kick right to the side of the head of Williams. They're both down. While Kawada tries to gain his composure back. Get his wits back about him. But yeah, as I was saying, Kawada and Misawa kind of had the same look their whole career. Kobashi a little bit, but he did change it up. I know Kenta Kobashi he wore orange for a while, and then he kind of changed it up to black and purple. And Kawada eventually changed it up as well, trying for that power bomb. He changed it up in the later years of his career, but throughout all of the 90s, most of his career, he wore these tights. There was all black with holy crap, he's got him up! Sort of, and he power bombs him. 1, 2, no! He half power bombed Dr. Death. He could barely get him up, dropped him, and then he jackknife covered him, and Williams kicks out with authority. Kawada's just blown away here. He's I've been trying for that damn powerbomb all match. Well, now you know how Williams feels. He was trying for that suplex throughout the whole match. And he finally hit the power slam, the finish of the Oklahoma Stampede. Oh, Kawada grabbing him by the back of the mullet. You don't pull a man's mullet, Kawada. That's just bad form. Trying for that powerbomb again. Can he get it? He's wrenching. He looks like he's trying to squeeze out a turd. And there's a back body drop from Williams. Got the power. And Kawada's up. Straight kick to the face. It looks like Williams is presenting. And there we go. No! Arm drag. You can tell how tired these guys are. How much they've beat each other up. When he tried for an arm drag, he basically flopped over. Williams didn't really get a hold of him. Kawada didn't really flip like he was supposed to. They just kind of like fell over. It was like, good enough. Williams is back up. Jabs. Just these straight rights and then a straight left. Now he's got Kawada against the ropes here. Bam! Punch to the face. Both of them are slunk down. Got him up and go for the Saito again, but no! He's holding on. Kawada is holding on. He's got the tights. Williams is pulling the tights and there's a back fist from Kawada. And a kick to the back of the knee of Dr. Death again. Oh, there's that jumping enziguri right to the back of Williams' head. That was a signature of Kawada besides the front kick. And there's another one, but he hits the side of the face instead of the back of the head that time. But it looks like Kawada might have hurt himself. He's holding his right knee, pulling on his right boot. Maybe he didn't hurt himself. I don't know. It kind of looked like it there for a minute. And there's a spinning wheel kick, but it looked like Williams blocked most of it. And there's a jumping enziguri to the side of the head again. And a clothesline to the back. Another jumping enziguri right to the frickin' face. Cover. 1, 2, 3. That's it. That is it. Kawada wins. Toshiaki Kawada is the new AJPW, All Japan Pro Wrestling Triple Crown Champion. He looks like his eyes are crossed at this point. He's like, what's going on? They're like, hey, you won. You're the champ, buddy. He's like, champ of what? What's going on? Where am I? Break out the smelling salts. There is a victory. A woman is crying right now for Toshiaki Kawada. Oh my god, I can't believe he won. They're helping him to his feet. He can barely stand. They're lifting him up. He finally won his first title. He's been wrestling since '82 in All Japan Pro Wrestling. It took him 12 years. 12 years to become the world champion, the Triple Crown champion in All Japan. He is going to become the ace of All Japan. He's going to prove to be very loyal, even when business is in the toilet, even when Giant Baba dies. He is loyal to a fault with All Japan Pro Wrestling. He could have went anywhere. He did go elsewhere in his career. Like I think he was in Hustle for a while, which was they did good stuff, but they did a lot of jokey BS stuff there too. Not quite like DDT. If anybody knows what DDT is, that's what. There he goes, holding up the titles, all 3 of them. Good grief. Oh yeah, one of them titles actually it's got hooks that it hooks on around. And he gets a giant effing trophy. It's not bad enough you get 3 effing titles. You get a trophy that's as big as you are, man. Holy mother of God. That thing is absolutely gigantic. It's got a large globe on it. A base that, oh man. He was just awarded the R2-D2 trophy. Good grief. I mean, it looks cool, but it's hilariously huge. If you're not watching, you definitely should go out of your way just to see that freaking trophy. But anyway, he went to, if anybody knows what Hustle is, they did serious wrestling. They had some good matches, but they also threw a lot of comedy in there. I don't know why, of all people, Toshiaki Kawada would have went there, but whatever. DDT is much worse, though, by the way. DDT, I mean, they've had Riho as a 9-year-old girl wrestling Kenny Omega, if anybody knows about that. Kenny and, I can't think of who it was, Kota Ibushi, both wrestled blow-up dolls there. They've done just a lot of really stupid, goofy stuff. Japan's known for having joke promotions. So they do, that's not obviously the big thing over there, but they've had quite a few. Hustle had quite a bit of comedy, DDT's comedy, and there was another one, if anybody's seen clips of They had like a dude dressed up like Ronald McDonald going in there, shoving his face into guys' crotches throughout the whole match. It was just like, really weird stuff. I mean, if that's what you're into, whatever, but just giving a descriptor. That is a match. They're doing interviews. I'm not tracking it because it's obviously all in Japanese. I don't speak Japanese, so yeah, you get what you get. But alright, that was Steve Williams versus Toshiaki Kawada. Real quick, just to kind of tell you how this goes for Kawada. He won it this night at the October Giant Series Tour. He held it for 133 days before eventually losing it to Stan Hansen on March 4th, 1995 at the Excite Series Tour in Tokyo, Japan. It would be Stan Hansen's fourth reign, and he held it for 83 days before losing it to Mitsuharu Misawa, who held it for over a year. Or about a year. Excuse me. So, that's how it goes with the Triple Crown Heavyweight title. Kawada now, if you're still watching the video, is celebrating in the locker room. Still dripping perspiration all over the place. Looking ahead at our schedule, as this drops the 8th of March, if anybody's keeping track, on the 15th, next week, we are going to be covering Larry Zbyszko versus Bruno Sammartino. That is Larry Zbyszko's, without a doubt, most famous feud and his most famous matches. We will be covering the match from Shea Stadium, watching along, and if I can find another one, which I believe I have found a couple of their matches throughout history, I'm going to be throwing them in there. They had a big feud where Bruno was Larry Zbyszko's mentor for a while, and Larry stabbed him in the back, and they had a big old feud over it. Good old school wrestling stuff. Good stuff. On March 22nd, we're going to be covering a man who just unfortunately passed away this past year, one of wrestling's greatest minds, Pat Patterson. I found his famous alley fight with Sergeant Slaughter from, I believe it was in Madison Square Garden in the WWF in the 80s, early 80s, I want to say. We will be watching along to that, and we will have another match. I'm still trying to decide what the second match should be that we watch along to, but we will be covering Pat Patterson, the man, the myth, the legend, on March 22nd. And then, to close out the month, March 29th, we will be covering L.A. Park from Mexico. Yes, La Parka, L.A. Park, whatever you want to call him. That is who we're going to be covering to close out the month. It'll be our first Lucha episode, and I'm very excited for it. L.A. Park is one of my favorite luchadors of all time. He had a lot of great stuff from Mexico. I don't know exactly which two matches we will be covering. I will have an update for you later on in the month when we get closer to the episode. I will kind of update, like next week, we'll have an update on, because next week we're going to be covering Zbyszko and Sammartino, and then the week after is Pat Patterson. So I'll tell you next week exactly what two matches we're going to be watching for Pat Patterson. And then I will tell you later on this month which two LA Park matches we'll be watching, because I have a lot saved. So like I said, it'll be our very first ever Lucha show episode. I'm very, very excited for it. I love LA Park. I love Lucha, so it's going to be fun. And we'll talk about that more later on in the month, but like I said, next week on the 15th, it's Zbyszko and Sammartino from Shea Stadium and more. Thank you for joining me. Retorno ni.